Hi, so we're going to cover Greek architecture together in class because it's kind of a big topic. But as a way of getting ahead a little bit while I'm out, like here we have a recreation of the Parthenon in Nashville, Kentucky. And as a basic introduction, we're looking at the facade of the Parthenon here. And it has certain features that we see in Greek architecture all the time. This is a post and lintel system, right? We have these columns extending up, right? So this is a colonnade, and the columns go all the way around, which makes it peristyle. Okay. On top of that, we have an entablature, which has sculptures running around it, and they are broken up by other components that we'll again go over in class. But that's a frieze, right, that depicts events, right, or tells a story. And then on top of that, this triangular piece is called a pediment. So this is kind of like our basic Greek temple, right? Built to house the gods and for us to come worship them. Um, and then as we move forward, we see other versions of this, right? So this is the Temple of Athena, and we looked at one of the sculptures from it. It would have initially had kind of a railing that ran around it, and that had Nike adjusting her sandal. And this would have been on the at the top of the Acropolis, right? A smaller temple. It's ionic. It has the rounded, curved capitals at the top. And it is amphirostyle, meaning that it has the columns on the front and on the back, but not on the sides. So this is what I would refer to as a variation on the theme. It looks somewhat like what we see with the Parthenon itself, right? But it's slightly different than that. It's made of marble. Its artist would have been Callicrates, right? We're in a classical period here because we are building the Acropolis or rebuilding the Acropolis. Pericles is doing that. The sculptures we've already talked about were signifying the victories in battle, likely over the Persians. And of course, this being one of the smaller ones, it would have been where you would to make offerings or pray to Nike herself. There was a statue inside, remember, without wings, so Nike could not leave Athens. And it was later turned to a church, but really that was, nothing that will be on the test. But these buildings, their beauty meant that nobody wanted to destroy them when they took power. They wanted to keep them, just change the way that they were used. Another variation on this theme of Greek architecture would be this great altar of Zeus and Athena. And we looked at the sculpture of Athena down here. On this part of the frieze, which is 7.5, 8 feet tall, and you see the staircase leading up. It's symmetrical. If you cut it in half, it would be the same on either side. And in the center would have been a place where you would make offerings or sacrifices to Zeus. But this was built, of course, by Alexander the Great. It's very dramatic with its sculpture. Some of these figures, they actually come out, and it's like this guy is like leaning and his knees on the step that we ourselves. So it's like they become part of our reality that we would walk up. Almost 400 figures. And of course, it's that story again of the gods defeating the giants and then dragging them up the steps to kneel at Zeus's feet. So it is a comparison of Alexander to the gods, and Zeus in particular. And of course, Alexander is enjoying great success militarily and expanding his empire and building himself an acropolis at the very highest part of this place, Pergamon, which is in modern day Turkey. The whole thing is, if we go back, you can see indoors now in Germany, in Berlin, taken there. to preserve it, you know. But I'm sure that there are things in Pergamon now that are also reminiscent of this same time period, which is our Hellenistic period. So, archaic period, classical period, Hellenistic period. And the altar of Zeus and Athena. Anything else I want to cover there? Oh, I think we're pretty good.